Alright guys, let's take a quick look at FET here on the channel once again. Now it's been a while since I've looked at FET. I'm not even sure how long. I'd have to go back in my history real quick. But it's really been some time. And if I look it up, actually it's been a month. And I've done a lot of videos on FET. And yeah, we really need to take another look at it because, you know, that video was actually on the 28th of November. So we were like here. We had gotten this little push. Now we're basically at the same point we were, you know, today as we were then. So not much progress has been made. Now I would like to say this kind of looks like a head and shoulders here. It's not the greatest head and shoulders, but let's just, you know, entertain the idea that it is. So we'll take it from the head down to the, let's say, the neckline. I would say that's somewhere about here. So let's just draw this line right there. And it basically broke down, let's see. I mean, it's not an exact science, guys, but it almost came down to the target. Now, the thing that saved it was this weekly support here at $1.11, which, you know, that's great. It shows that FET is a little bit stronger. So let's see what's going on with FET right now. Basically, it was struggling with this basically $1.50 mark. And it punched, you know, here a bunch of times. It even got above it here, it looks like a couple of times, but just wasn't able to hold it. So it really struggled with the $1.50 mark. Now it finally broke it, guys. This actually kind of looks like a flag too. I want to make a little flag here, and we're going to make some target for this. Now let's just put that here, and we'll do another. We'll draw it from here. Okay, so let's see what the target will be. I want to start this flagpole from here, take it all the way up to here where it kind of finished on this wick, and let's move this over here. Oh wow, guys. The target looks like it's about to be reached. So yeah, we'll see if this is where it stops or not, guys. But that is really interesting to see. So yeah, that's almost to a perfect science right now. But let's see if it exceeds it. I would, you know, much rather it exceed it. But this might be where it stops. Now, if we do look at some indicators, I'm just going to pull those up real quick, guys. Now, on a 4-hour time frame, it's starting to get, you know, overbought on the RSI. The Stochc RSI actually looks pretty good, so that's not bad to see. Daily time frame, guys, getting overbought on the Stochc RSI. It's kind of in the middle on the RSI here. That's not bad to see. Now let's look at it on a weekly time frame. Actually, RSI is pointed upwards and it's right in the middle, so it has plenty of, you know, room to run. The Stochc RSI pointed to the downside, although this blue line looks like it's about to start curving up, so that's good. So yeah, weekly time frame I would say looks okay. You know, the daily is kind of 50-50. 4-hour time frame 50-50. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. Yeah, it's overbought basically on the 1 hour. 15-minute, this is a really small time frame. Getting overbought actually here. Overbought already on the RSI. So I would say short term, this is probably going to cool down actually. It's probably already hit its target, and I wouldn't expect much more. But in the longer term time frames, guys, I do think this will start running again in the next couple of days at least. So keep your eye on it. You know, like I said, it looks better on the longer time frames on the RSI. So yeah, let's see what happens. Now, if we're talking about tokenomics effect, guys, max supply is this really weird number, 2719493896. Not sure why they chose that, but the total supply, actually all of this has been created. Circulating is almost everything, so that's actually good to see, because, you know, they don't have much room to dilute this coin. And this is going to be a mega coin, guys. This is really I think the boss, we can say, when it comes to AI. You know, and you can see that Fetch AI, Ocean Protocol, Singularity Net, they all formed this super, you know, alliance or whatever. And I'm not sure what's going on with this alliance at the moment. I know they were kind of supposed to merge into some other token a while back, but we'll see, guys. I think it'll take place. Just, you know, it takes time for these things, and they are a little bit delayed. That's probably what is really hurting the price, actually. Now, looking at Bitcoin, guys, you can see that it started putting some 4-hour candles above this green line, which is a weekly resistance. Now it's about to flip into support. In a couple of hours, the weekly candle will close. So that is good. We are quite above it. I do think we'll close tonight, you know, above this. Next target would be the $99,000 mark, and this is a daily time frame resistance. So, like I always say, it's probably 7 times weaker than a weekly resistance. And then basically we have to move up to 101, 200. And, you know, I don't want to get too far ahead, guys, but Bitcoin is starting to look good. We also need to take out this local high, so that's at 99.5. So, yeah, that's 3 targets that we need to be looking for in the short term. But once we get above basically this local high, I think we'll move pretty quickly to 101.2. And then, guys, once we get above that, there isn't too much resistance above. It's only, you know, a couple more resistances, really. Taking a quick look at ETH, guys, it's teeter-tottering this line at 36.53, let's say. And like I said, we do have, you know, a few more hours here, and actually a couple more hours, and we're so close. If we can close a weekly candle above 36.53, that would just be the best thing. Now, on a weekly time frame, we have already taken out this at what, 35.34, which I talked about for so long. You know, we also retested this 33.13, so we got to bounce off that. We broke through this. So yeah, I mean, we've already had a great week, but we can make it even greater if we can push up another $5. Will that happen tonight? It's very possible. Just have to wait and see, guys. You know, let's take a look at, you know, midnight UTC tonight, and you'll see if it crossed 36.53. Now, taking a look at the dominance, guys. I want to skip the market caps tonight. Just not so important like the Bitcoin dominance here. And yeah, I mean, it is on a weekly time frame. It looks good. The last couple of weeks have been really red. Let's look at this on a daily time frame, though. Now, you can see it is getting a green candle today. The last, you know, 2 days ago on Friday, it was a massive red candle. Yesterday, kind of a doji candle here. But it, you know, it looks like it just, you know, barely closed under the 56.90. And now it's pushing up. And it looks like the weekly candle is probably going to close above the 56.90, unfortunately. So, on a 4-hour time frame, yeah, it's kind of maybe rounding out here. So we may see this start to come down tomorrow sometime. It may have kind of hit its peak, but, you know, we just have to wait and see. You know, if you're an altcoin holder, you want to see this go down. And I'm an altcoin holder, so I do want to see this go down. Now, let me play with this trend line a little bit. And yeah, it actually is coming up to a point. I should have extended this in my previous video, which I just made. But anyways, you know, it's coming up to a point. It's got to make a decision right now whether it's going to break this trend line once again. Now, it's already done it a couple of times, but it didn't really go too far away from it and ended up crashing back through. So let's see what happens now. It's at a point. It's got to make a decision. It's either going to break it again. Maybe it'll go up, you know, to 57.55. But does it have enough strength to push through that? Probably not. You know, it's just making a series of, you know, lower highs, basically. So, you know, you have a high here, lower high here, lower high here, lower high here, lower high here. This is probably going to be the next lower high. if it doesn't push through this trend line. So yeah, it's looking much better for us. Now, while the dominance has gotten the green candle today, it really hasn't suffered on the altcoin season index. It's the same as last night, 53. I don't know how often they update this, or if on the weekends it's not really updated or what. But yeah, it's still the same. So we're more towards altcoin season than Bitcoin season right now at the moment, just barely. But yeah, I believe we're going to see 75 and above really soon, guys. Now, fear and greed, 72 today. Yesterday, 73. I think the day before that was like 74. So basically just, hanging around the same area. I do hope we cool down a little bit more, but, I'm not too worried right now when we're just floating around 72, 73, 74. That's okay. No major moves. Now, Pi Cycle indicator, guys. Pi Cycle top indicator. Not really close. Still probably has at least 6 months, I would say. But yeah, it is curving up, so it's just going to take a lot of time. Now, crypto bubbles, guys. Right now, actually, my previous video, which I just did, it's maybe a little bit more green than that video, actually, which I did on XDC, if you want to check that out. Yeah, a little bit more green, so I would say it's like 50-50. But some of these reds, guys, Fartcoin, Virtual, AI, 16Z, they all had massive days yesterday. So that's why they're more red than others. But yeah, here you have FET. It's one of the bigger bubbles, in the top 100. So yeah, I mean, I do think we will start to see some bubbles grow tomorrow and throughout the week. I do believe Bitcoin dominance will come down. Now, as for the staking, guys, go to Coinondo. Type in whatever coin you want, for example, Bitcoin, and you'll get a list and you'll see the amount of days that you have to stake, and you'll see limits. Be careful, be aware, read everything. You don't want to get stuck in a position that you can't get out of because it's locked up for too long. Now, me personally, I am looking for flexible or 30 days at this point. I know I'm not making as much in my staking, but what's a few cents going to really get me in the end when my coin is going to pump for thousands of dollars? So at this point, it doesn't really make much sense to lock it up for 90 days, 120 days, 180 days, 365 days, whatever you're thinking. The bull run could be over by then. So just be careful. There was somebody about, I think, a month ago when Tron pumped. They have really a lot of Tron. I couldn't believe how much they had. And yeah, they were stuck in their position. They were staking, and they couldn't get out, couldn't sell, So yeah, take that as a lesson, guys. Anyways, if you like this video, guys, like, subscribe, activate the bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one.